Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. This is Raw Cloud. Today, I have some information for you guys. I have some white hat information, and I have some personal information that I wanted to share with you guys. I end up doing this time jump. Normally, I work with the military when we do these time jumps. The white hat military, and I also work with certain other factions of the military, along with the Galactic Federation councils when we do this, and I've done so much as far as missions, and it's all types, guys. I can be an intelligence officer gathering intel on a specific individual, doing military operations, to fighting in these galactic wars, or fighting right here on the planet and protecting military compounds with delicate equipment and information and artifacts. I've done 20 and back. I've done so much. And when you working on these levels, of course, you still have to come back here and do your human side, participating in this human existence, doing this Akashic human side. And like I said, guys, I get so bored with, I love my kids, and it's worthwhile being a father. But all of that other stuff, as far as marriage and all that stuff, I mean, if it works for you, then it works for you. But me personally, um, to me, it's all bullshit to me. I mean, you guys know that I don't pull punches. I share, my life with you guys just like you share your life with me. But, as far as, being a father and doing that, that's very profound to me. It's uplifting to me, to be able to be a father, a nurturing father, a teaching father. Um, but anyway, let me get into this information pertaining to not just white hat information, but I'm going to first talk about this personal time jump that I did. Um, this female, she happened to be Latina, and I went in specifically on my own to help assist her. She had a brother that was very, very controlling. Now, I don't know much about this girl life. I don't know hardly anything. But when I get called to do something, from the heart, then I'm going to act on that. So I go into, I do this time jump, and, I'm outside, her place where she stayed with her brother. And her brother is, like I said, very controlling. You would think that he's taking on some type of father figure, but very abusive to his own sister. Just bullying her. She can't have a life. She's at the age where she can uh, think for herself, do things for herself, and just live her own life. Well, I don't like bullies. So when I did this time jump, I ended right outside of her home or his home or whoever. I don't didn't have a lot of information. My main objective was to go there and deal with the brother, and put things, just let him know, look, I'm here to collect that karma you've been doing to your sister. So he come outside, she's out there and he's just being, an asshole to her, pushing her around, telling her what she can and cannot do. And, you know, when I jump into that particular timeline, I'm not as tall as I am now. I'm 6 foot here. And this guy had to be maybe about my height here in this timeline. Could have been just a little bit shorter, maybe about 5'10", 5'11". But when I go into that timeline, I'm like 5'6", 5'7". And he's looking at me like he can manhandle me. Now, I have the same conscience that I have here. I brought that same conscience. Uh, Going in there and taking care of business, uh, not trying to be a hero, but, you know, once you're viewing this and you feel obligated to help someone that is in need. So that's what I did. That's the kind of heart and mindset that I have. That's how I work on a soul level. I went in there, and this guy, he got really aggressive with me. So I guess he thought because he was a little bit taller than me, um, that I was going to back down. No, I went at him. Once he saw that I was going at him, and I hit him a couple of times in his chest, and then he he got a little bit shocked at that, to see me be so aggressive, that I had no fear. Um, the sister was trying to. She watched for a few minutes, but once she saw that I was, not having it, she kind of wanted me to, back off just a little bit. At that point, I really felt like at that point he was not going to learn his lesson. And he knew what I was there for, because the whole time I was drilling him, wasn't there to, I wasn't hitting him as hard as I could have. But I wanted to put that fear into him and let him see how it feels to control someone at that level. So once I got the guy down on the ground, and I was a little bit angry, I really was a little bit angry that he even thought that he could match me. I picked him up with one hand by his ankle and just held him up with one hand. And my mindset at the time, I really wanted to hang this guy off a cliff. I really did want to hang him from a cliff and just scare the shit out of him. I wasn't going to hurt him, but I wanted to scare the shit out of him and let him know, look, that's your sister. Treat her better. Let her be who she is. You're not her boyfriend. You're not her father. You're her brother. And you're putting your hands on her and thinking that it's okay to control her in that manner. It's fine to have heated arguments with your sibling, but once you become that aggressive where you're actually putting your hands and trying to control someone at that level, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. So once I held him up by his ankle, then I felt like that was enough. Once I felt like I went there, I did what I needed to do, and put things back in line, and maybe he can understand the level of fear that he had, was the same level of fear that he was putting into his sister. So I came back here at that point. So hopefully he learned his lesson. But I really did feel like that I needed to go there and intervene at that level, not to harm him to the level of putting him, in the hospital, but I needed to, let him see how it feels to be bullied, and maybe he learned from it. Hopefully, he learned from it. So anyway, I'm gonna get into these notes, um, and then I'll get into. I'm supposed to be having a Zoom meeting with James Rink tomorrow, and I have some white hat notes because it's looking like that timeline. Guys, you know about what's been going on as far as these drones that the government has been putting out to try to cover up the Federation showing up and showing humanity, the people that are asleep. You guys are, you already know. So the Federation is not worried about you guys. They're worried about the people that still believe that they are the only ones out there in the universe. And they're trying to wake them up. And then slowly we can go into uh, all this other stuff that I've been talking about as far as the human trafficking, who's been behind it, who has signed off on humanity to be sold out, and all of this stuff has been going on right under your nose, and people have been passive. They haven't been believing, but they've been waking up because they saw how Hollywood has been operating when it comes to, you know, that adrenal. You know what I'm talking about, and how they've been using that to stay young. But it goes way deeper than that. This goes to off-planet slave colonies. Um, and I told you guys in a past life, I was a SSP, Dark Fleet officer, and I was a black female, and I was on the planet Mars. And those containers, those huge containers that they ship out into international waters, they were using those containers to traffic humans and get them out into international waters where ships, UFO ships, huge ships, would take them off planet into these slave colonies, and they would take them to Mars. And I got so fed up in that past life. I got fed up of dealing with what was going on in that human trafficking. I was a black female in that life, and when I tried to escape, they killed me. They didn't put up with those that would try to, leave or wasn't with what was going on. You either obeyed or you were going to be a statistic. And that's what happened. And I really didn't care. I didn't care that they killed me. I really didn't care. And that was the mentality that I had. I was fed up of being a part of that in that past life. And like I said, I was a black female, and I had the Nazi. I saw the black and gray suit that I had on. It was a Nazi suit. But anyway, so hopefully, me and James, we can talk about some things that are going on with these drones and this particular timeline. I'm not going to go in right here, but I'll get with James and then we can talk about it. I did upload a video a while ago, months ago, about that specific timeline where they were going to be using holograms. They were going to be using holograms, and this is being set up right now with these drones. These drones can create holograms. Project Bluebeam, and they had deals with other ET races to come in and invade. And you can go back and look at that timeline, because back then that was a future timeline probability that I went into, and I saw what was going on, and I tried to help. Okay, guys, I have more information on what's happening with the AI driven human drones. Guys, you gotta be patient with me. I can't really see small print, so I have trouble with the notes. So just bear with me as I go through these notes. Take my job, for instance. I explain how these managers work like a hive mind mentality. Their human consciousness have been taken over and is so subtle they can't even see what's happened to them. They follow this program faithfully. Management have been given a directive objective to watch me without questioning why. They follow these orders like androids, not knowing that they are connected and controlled by an AI hive mind. I've been working as counterintelligence with the white hat military, gathering and watching how they operate. They know, they've seen the videos I've uploaded. This is exactly why I need to know who's able to snap out of this program or who's fully integrated into this AI system. Either way, my job with the white hats are moving forward details about this operation and giving it back to humanity to also watch their surroundings and see how this AI has been operating under humanity nose for quite some time. Guys, this is just the same programming we've been grown accustomed to. Like getting up, doing the same thing every day. There's another program that has been added to help this AI system watch anyone that think outside of the box or is programmed system. So if you think outside of the box, this AI system, just like any algorithm, it monitors you. It home in on how you think. If you're not thinking like how we get up and we do this routine that we do day in and day out, it's pretty much the same thing. We may change up things here and there. So they're not worried about the subtle things that we change. But if you're thinking outside of the box, like how you guys are, then this AI system is going to watch you like real heavy. And they will send like human AI driven hive mind drones to watch you. It's called gang stalking. Now, the reason why it's been able to go undetected for so long, some people pick it up because they watch, they know, they understand how this system works, how this specific matrix system works, and how it's been inverted. Now, the veil is coming down and people are waking up. This is why these federations are here now, is because humanity as a whole has reached a conscious level state where they can now interact with specific people here on the planet. They communicate with you through the dream state. You guys meet with them. You guys are part of these galactic councils. But you still have to come back and do that Akashic record cycle, that human evolution that you're supposed to be a part of. So, and they don't want to intervene in that too much, but they will read you throughout your dream state. They will speak to your higher conscience and, pass messages and even activate you on so many levels. Once that timeline hit, you're going to be activated, and you're going to be doing a lot of the work that a lot of us are doing, or you may be doing other things, traveling outside the body, working with the human collective on that, in that wave. Okay, like getting up, doing the same thing every day. There's another program that has been added to help this AI system watch everyone that thinks outside of the box, its programming system. The low conscious individuals that don't look at themselves will always be used like drones. And that's what's going on right now. Humans are the ones that have been so integrated into this system, and don't look at themselves as being a problem. And I'm talking about the same shit that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. People that you are in relationships with can be used like a damn drone. You could be married to them. They will lie, cheat, and steal. Okay, and then they will go listen to some damn gospel, and think that that's okay. That's not okay. They don't look at themselves as being a problem, but they are. They're there to cause problems and then play the victim. And they will make you look like you're the bad guy. And I've had this in my life. I've been dealing with this for 25 fucking years. The lying, the cheating, and the stealing. That's what I've been dealing with. And my thing is, if you are married to a remote viewer and you still don't believe that he's able to see or she's able to see the bullshit that you are doing, then there's something you need to really step back and look at yourself, which they will never do because they are ran off a program. They are programmed to do this. And when they are wrong, they will never apologize for what they have done because they never look at it. They are programmed not to look, to continue on with the same shit, to cause problems, and then play victim. This is what I'm talking about. So I understand now. I really understand now why I have aligned myself to be a part and witness this stuff myself so that I can really help somebody. And the only way I can really help somebody is I have to go through it. I have to be a part of it. I have to see it. I have to witness it. And I have to speak on it. I have to tell you guys, don't be passive. Because these human drones are there. They are really there. If you look back at the relationships that you had, if you play victim the way that they do, and don't step back and be like, okay, well, now I get it. Now I get why we had so many problems. Now I get why you pointed the finger at me, knowing damn well what you were doing. They are drones. These specific people are drones They are never going to apologize. They are never going to take accountability. They are never going to look at themselves as contributing to a chaotic problem, because that is their program. That is what they have been sent there to do. And they will run that program faithfully. All you got to do is look back at it. If you are an awakened being and you're wondering why you're going through all of this chaos, it's because it's been sent there. It's been programmed to do it. And it is subtle. It is really subtle. But you have to be able to step back, step all the way back, then view it. Okay, side notes, white hat information. Most of the hybrids here unnaturally created to infiltrate humanity in a negative capacity. They have been placed in positions of power not just to manage human development, but to completely capacitate their ability to evolve freely. Negative forces know not only placing these negative beings in positions of authority could help them maintain order, but to protect these hybrids from being deleted from our timeline altogether. You see, they were created unnaturally so they do not fit our timeline continuous process, meaning if you were to destroy one of these beings, it will not cause repercussions over the timeline natural human being that have evolved with a natural birth Akashic record cycle. So these beings, these hybrids that they created, you remember Dr. David Jacobs, the hybrid program? Well, all of that stuff is true. And a lot of the stuff he was being blocked on communicating to the public. So he had to write these books disclosing that these beings, they have a negative agenda. They have a negative agenda. The ones that have been here creating hybrids like the Greys and the reptilians, they wanted to infiltrate. And the only way that they could infiltrate is to look like us, to pass as human beings, and then put themselves in positions of power to hold us back from evolving. That was the whole plan. And the longer they do this, let me get back into the notes, and you'll begin to see why they have been doing this, because they have an agenda. It's not to help us. Okay. So eliminating these beings will not cause some type of Mandela effect. Their creators know this, and this is exactly why these hybrids have been designed only to infiltrate the human society, to generate a timeline alongside ours. They know as of right now, they have to create enough history alongside human beings to take over our timeline completely. So that's their main objective. They have to be here long enough to create almost like an Akashic cycle the way that we have. They need to be here long enough. I don't know exactly how long they have to be here to generate that Akashic side, that Akashic cycle. But if they're here long enough to do that, they can create their own timeline and then push us out of the way completely. That's their main objective, is to move us out the way completely. They can't do it now because they don't have enough history beside us. But the longer they stay here, the longer they create with us, the longer they're here creating history with us, eventually they can create an Akashic cycle, and they know it. But as of right now, they don't have enough history alongside the human race to do anything as far as I take it over. But as long as you know this, you can undo anything that they're trying to do, but it has to go into the human collective. Okay, now, a lot of people really don't understand how I'm able to do these time jumps. So I want to explain that a little bit further. And it has to do with, well, there's a lot of factors. But I'm gonna go into one of the basic factors. Um, when I was a child, and it has a lot to do with who you were in your past lives. Um, the beings that you've been in your past lives and the capabilities that those beings had um, has a lot to do with being able to become a time jumper. We do this alongside the military with the jump chairs. There's other technology that is used as well. It's just not the jump chair. There's other technologies that you can use, but you still have to have some type of you have to have these light codes within your biology to be able to continuously be a candidate to even be used for these jump chairs or specific technology. Um, they look for people that don't need the technology though. Like myself, I don't need a technology to jump. Um, and this is one of the reasons why I work with the white hat military. Um, is because I want to use these gifts for something good. That's what I was. That's why I incarnated to do. I incarnated to help humanity. Uh, but as a child, the dark forces, the Illuminatis, they look for these specific trades as well, and that's why I also, as a child, I had to go through all this bullshit. The same as Michael Prince, the same as uh, Max Beers, and other people. Other people. There was other people that was in this projects. James Rink also can do jumps, but if your genetics isn't specifically designed for these jumps, um, over time it can affect you. It can affect your memory. That's why I like to do it naturally. I don't like, you guys know, I don't like a lot of technology. Um, I don't like to go aboard a lot of crafts. Uh, but I was used early on as a child where warlocks and witches, and I'm talking about the negative ones. Of course, the positive warlocks and witches, they don't bother children. Okay, they don't mess with children. It's these negative ones. So I was used to take witches into other dimensions. They would climb on my back. They would climb on my back and put me in some sort of sleep paralysis. They do exist, guys. These witches. I fought with them as a child, and then all the way up almost till I was like 13, 14 years old. By that time, I was into martial arts. And I started fighting back. That was the only reason why they can't use me now, is because I started fighting back. I became too strong for these witches, and is when I became a teenager. Uh, but they would climb on my back and they would ride me like a damn broom. And I could take them to other places that they could not access. There was no magic that they can use to go into these other realms that they wish to go into. So they used children. They climbed on my back and they would uh, use me to go into other realms that they could not access. So I've always had that genetic DNA to do jumps and to go into other places. But I started fighting back. Um, the witches and warlocks found me before a lot of the negative military found me. Then the Greys had already knew about me, and then we got into the Montauk stuff and time travel. They used me to time travel, and they was looking for gifted children. And I'm still alive because I had the genetics. Most kids are not alive is because their body just could not handle it. Their body, their genetics couldn't handle it. Not all human beings, not every soul that incarnate into bodies will have the genetics to do time jumps. They just won't. Their bodies will burn out. Their brain um, will just turn into mush. So anyway, I don't want to drag this on, but I want to give you guys this information so that you can have it. And none of what I say is fear-based. Uh, it is to educate